So in which cases we can use, like, you can use a procedure to sync the data between two tables or two different systems. Like one is your ABAP on-premise system, and second is your BTP, your cloud BTP system. So whatever data we have in ABAP on-premise system, that data you want to sync and you want to store all that data in BTP tables. So for that, you can create a procedure. And this procedure will make sure whatever data we have, that will be synced. So the main purpose of procedure is like it's like a function that you are defining directly on database level. Okay, so that is the function which you can directly define on a database level. Now to create a procedure in a CAPM project, okay, when you want to create a procedure in a CAPM project, so we have option like you can manually create a file, or the best option that I prefer generally is you can go on top, you can add this arrow, and then you can search for HANA. Okay, just search for HANA. And under this HANA, we have an option uh, to create HANA database artifacts. I think I have preferred that option. So this is the option I was talking about. SAP HANA, create SAP HANA database artifacts. Okay. So we need to go with that option. That is SAP HANA, create SAP HANA database artifacts. You click on that and then it will open like this. Now currently in this we have to provide in which folder you want to create that procedure, HANA procedure. Okay, so you can provide a path of the folder. So generally I prefer to have procedure inside DB folder and inside SRC folder. Okay, that is the place where I prefer to have the procedure to be. Okay, so that is the same path I have given here. You can see that. And now under database version is SAP HANA Cloud. And what type of artifact it is? It is an artifact of type procedure. So we need to go down a little bit and there will be a option with name HDB procedure. Okay, you see this procedure here. So this option I will choose. And now when I choose this option, I will specify the name of procedure. So for example, get equipment. Okay, I'm giving a name of procedure, that is get equipment data. This is the name of procedure and I will just click on create. That's it. Now once the procedure is created, you see the file is created with .hdb procedure and default code is generated in this. Okay, now this is a default code. Now once the procedure is created, how to call this procedure? Because this procedure cannot be called, right? we need some action or something which can call this procedure, correct? So how you will call this procedure? Because let's say I'm creating this procedure and the main purpose of this procedure is that it returns a data, bulk of data from different services in one single go. So you want to call multiple services, like I want one API through which I can get a data of equipment, I can get a data of task, or I can get a data of all the statuses in one single call. So I can, for such cases, for such use case, I can write code in procedure. And this one single procedure will return all the data in one single API. Okay, so currently I have defined this procedure. Now I need to write code in this. But before that, how to call this procedure? So for this, we need action. Okay, what we need to define one function. So you can go to, we will go to admin service. Okay, and inside, sorry, admin service.cds. And here I will specify a function. Okay, so you can also define an action or function. So I'm going to define this time function. And then I will write here get equipments data. This is the procedure I'm creating. It returns thing. That's it. Okay. A basic function I have defined in admin service.cds file. Now, once this is done, now the next step is we have to call this function. Okay. We have to call this function in our handler file. So in handler file, we will go and we will just add here this dot on and we will specify the function name. Okay. And I will write here async. And now here I'm gonna call that procedure. Okay, so this is action, but there is no link, right? The function we have defined, the action is defined is fine. That it's we are going to call this. But how this procedure, whether we call this, no, right? See, this is different name. This is the procedure name, and this is the function name, guys. The function which I have defined. So it doesn't mean that whatever name I have given, the same name I have to give here in the function. No, the function is different. The procedure is different. Otherwise, I'll just do one thing. I'll change the name here.
Oh, no. You can change there in the procedure. You can add procedure data like that. It would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get equipment data by procedure. Okay. Fine. This is the name of procedure. And now this is the name of action function. So just copy and just pass it here in the handler file. So far it's clear. Whatever I did, guys, the steps to create a procedure file, to define one
Yes.
function in CDS, and then to call that function in our handler file. Okay, so far it's clear. Now let's write code inside procedure. Okay, so I'm going to write a basic code inside a procedure. So what I want to do is when I'm going to call this procedure, it should return some output. That is, it should return equipment data. Okay, so what I'm going to do in this inside this procedure, I'm gonna add out parameter. Now whatever I'm adding, whatever I'm typing, it is purely HANA related, native HANA related development. Okay, for example, role based. I need to get equipment data only specific to the user. Okay, so you can define in parameter and what data you are going to get for this procedure. Like parameters, guys, same like function. A function has a parameters, right? You can pass some data to the function and that function returns the data back. So same like that in procedure, whatever you will receive within a procedure, that will be through in parameter. And whatever you want to send outside as a response, so for that we will use out parameter. Okay, so I'm gonna pass here out and I'm gonna define one variable that is I will just give like uh, okay, I'm defining one variable with this, and this out parameter, it returns the type as stable. Okay, and now this table will return couple of fields, that is name of equipment. Okay, and I can just give varchar, and currently I will just give 100 as of 25, and I will write here description varchar, and then this description, it can be 250 characters, and then I will write here manufacturing. Okay, manufacturer. So again, this is just a varchar, and it is again like 100 characters. Okay, so this uh, So when you are going to call this procedure, so it is going to return this object or this table, and this table contains the three columns: name, description, and manufacturer. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I need to call this equipment service.